So we're going to stop after every segment, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Did you watch your bottom?
Never. 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, it's Wild Josh, and in this episode we talk about Star Wars, Toy Story, and falling asleep at the movies. We also have a special guest tonight, Rebecca, and why don't you take a minute to introduce yourself, Rebecca?
Well, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Rebecca. I've been on your show before in this special episode with Comic-Con, also known as Becky.
We don't talk about that episode. It wasn't a sanctioned episode.
What?
I
That's
still
what
consider
Indy
it an
said.
episode.
It's an episode. It was
It
just
was a
an extra.
6.5,
It's an extra. It's a bonus.
a bonus episode. Excellent. So if you didn't watch or listen, I guess you can't really watch a podcast. If you didn't listen to that
Debatable.
podcast, though, Rebecca, you are my wife.
I like how you have to say that to her as if you're reminding her.
I think, right?
Just in
It's
case
still
I
legally
forgot.
binding.
Well, did the check clear? She might not.
So Becky's my wife, and she's joining us this week as a special guest. So we're all excited to have you, and we know you'll do a good job.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Now let's get geeky. In our first segment, where we talk about the geeky, dorky, nerdy things that we did since our last episode, we're going to start with you, Kyle. What have you been up to?
I went to Disney World.
No,
Disney
you
World or Disneyland?
I went to Disneyland, California. It was great.
That's it?
Well, I mean, if you've been following us on Twitter, everybody knows what I've been doing. I took pictures of pretty much every single ride. Got retweets and likes. I mean, it was great.
You got ILM X Lab to retweet us.
Sure did. Does anybody know what ILM is, class?
No.
Yes, Industrial Light and Magic
Which is
for the win. It's Lucas's sound studio, basically.
the sound studio. It's the historic sound studio that he created because of Star Wars, or
Yes.
Star Wars. They're like hand in glove right there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Why hand and glove?
Foot and sock. I
Why
don't
not,
care.
Why not foot and shoe? Foot and sock.
Because the relationship's
Beer
a little
in
bit
glass.
more intimate, I think, than the foot and shoe.
Arm and sleeve.
Yeah, arm and hammer,
Head and hat.
hat in hand. That's something
Hat
else.
in hand.
Why would you have your hat in your hand? It should be on your head.
It's something you do sometimes. They're all like, "Oh, he went in there, hat in hand." It's more of a begging thing.
Okay.
It doesn't really
So
apply.
tell us about Disneyland and ignore Chase.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. Like I said, I mean, you can see everything on the Twitter there. But my wife Sarah is, I guess she is a travel agent now. But she went for training, and she was in class, so I got to go to the park by myself. So I did a lot of single rider lines. I basically only did the rides I wanted to do. When I got tired, I got to go back to our room, which she paid a fairly inexpensive fee for the whole thing, which included a room, and I got to stay in the room for free. And they upgraded us, and it ended up being like a $700 room. It was like on the 10th floor in a corner. I was like, holy cow, a night, I guess, but it was
$700 a night.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah. That's why
And
there
you were
were
right
robes
on
in there.
Disney's site.
What's that?
You were right on Disney's site.
Yeah, what's cool about Disneyland, their hotels and their Good Neighbor hotels, you can walk from any one of them to either of the parks. It's all like 10 minutes from each other. Which is
Cool.
Which is why I prefer it to Disney World, because you don't have to hop on a bus system and get all confused. Now Disney World is larger. It just has a lot more stuff, which is great. But if you're only gonna be there a couple days, like Disneyland is great, and you can walk and you get your full day in.
I've never
Yeah,
been.
it seems
Disneyland.
like something they frequent a lot on the Big Bang Theory. They make it sound like you could just do it in a day.
You can, but the one lie Big Bang Theory tells is that you can get the princess, the bibbidi bop treatment. You definitely cannot. That's only for little 12-year-old or under girls.
Or
You didn't
boys,
try
I
that though.
guess.
We had the same thought.
Knowing Kyle, I think he probably tried to
He
get the
probably
Bibbidi
did.
Bop treatment.
Well, I was by myself, so try everything. I like
So
Ariel.
anything else you did? Well, I guess you could probably. You're going to be releasing some maybe a video or something of your trip, or is that not for everyone?
Yeah, I got to borrow Josh and Becky's GoPro, and I took it on some rides and walking around the park. So hopefully that'll be coming up. I guess I was gonna do one for each ride, but I think what I'm gonna do is splice together the best bits and do one video of Disney World, and maybe some stills that I took.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Did your
Sorry.
hotel have a theme?
No, it was the Disneyland Hotel. I don't know how long it's been there, but it's been there quite a while. So it's nice, but it wasn't really themed. The headboard was really nice actually. It had some lights, so you could turn on the headboard, and it lit up with the Disneyland Castle, and it played a tune.
Wow.
It played a tune?
Yeah, I think it was "It's a Small World" or something like that.
That's not something you want.
Please, I've never heard anybody come back from a vacation and the rave. Oh, the headboard was awesome.
Yeah, it was a really nice headboard.
Well, I mean, it was. Someone clearly put a lot of time and effort into that headboard. Oh,
That's just a weird song for a headboard.
I don't remember.
It's a
Sarah
small
can tell you
world.
what it was.
Yeah. I'm not trying to think too deep into it, but
You got me
like,
thinking.
why not a lullaby or something? One of the, I don't know. Moving on.
At least it wasn't like "Be a Man" from Mulan. That would be uncomfortable.
Oh my goodness.
And actually, Sarah was saying it was the "A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes" song. So not as, I guess, weird as "It's a Small World" would be. I do want to talk about the Star Wars VR, that experience, but I want to do that in a future episode where I can dedicate a little bit of time to it. But I did get to do the new VR experience that they're doing, Secrets of the Empire, and hopefully we'll get to talk about that probably next episode.
That sounded really cool. And
Yeah,
you
I
sent
want to know more about that.
I think you put a video on our Twitter about it.
I did. Well, that's all I did this week. Oh, and I got Movie Pass.
Movie Pass. And have you used your Movie Pass yet?
No, I have tried on multiple occasions now, and one was before I got my card. So Movie Pass has certain hotels that... Nope.
Hotels.
So Movie Pass has certain theaters that they do...
That's why it didn't work.
No, they have
kept
certain
sliding the Movie
theaters
Pass card, and they're like, "No, I'm sorry, sir."
I was out of my mind. But they have certain theaters that they do an electronic ticket with, where you don't even need your Movie Pass card. But the theater that I tried to go to at Disney World was not one of those theaters. And then I wanted to go on Saturday, and we're too tired. So maybe
We were too tired.
Maybe Movie Pass
Too
really will
tired to
be
watch
like
a
gym
movie is
membership
really
for me.
tired. I gotta tell you, because if you're going to Hooks at Regal, you can like sleep. We're gonna get into that, but
That sounds like my
So-
kind of place.
hey, it's nice. Bring a little blanket. Out cold. So that's it. That's all you got for geeky nerdy stuff.
That is all I got. Because the rest
All right,
of
what about you?
my time I spend
Sorry.
not being geeky or nerdy.
I know. Why you should be geekier. Chase, what have you been up to?
Again, I haven't been up to much. I feel like I say that every single week, and it's just because I'm too lazy to actually do stuff. So, the usual, playing video games on the weekends, hanging out with a couple of my friends. In fact, this weekend we went go-karting again. I love
Mario
go-karting.
go-karting.
No, like real life, actual skill required go-karting.
How fast are these go-karts going?
These ones 45.
What? Like you could die if you crash.
Not really, because you have a seatbelt and a helmet, but
They say that you can die in a car crash going like 10.
okay, well,
That's what they say. The experts.
You're also not buckled in that situation.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Yeah, no, these carts, they're very fun.
How much is it?
Nobody in our group has ever gotten anything more than whiplash from it. I
only
had one
some
time where a
mild
guy
whiplash?
just completely slammed into the side of my cart. That was fine.
So how much is it to do this 45-mile-an-hour go-karting?
Depends. So they do deals, like one race is $22, 2 races is $40, so you save $4, whatever. And in order to get people in on the weekdays, we actually went on a Monday.
Mhm.
They do a special deal, 3 for $39 instead of 3 for $50. So saving $11.
Now, if you were now, I'm not a professional go-karter like you, Chase. I mean, your name
not
is
there yet.
Chase, but do they have like a season pass that you can buy where you pay one price and you can go as much as you want all year?
No, because otherwise I would do that.
Oh,
Yeah, that
man.
seems like
You know
that
what?
seems like something that
would
should
be
definitely
awesome.
do.
I would have the perfect name for that.
What would you call it?
Go-kart pass!
No, you're trying too hard now.
I like it. They
no,
that definitely needs to be something because you can get a season pass to like like Six Flags. Why can't you get that to go-karting?
Because Six Flags, you pay one price at the beginning of the day, and sure, you could go every day, but this, you pay by the race. So, I could, in theory, exhaust whatever they charge for the season pass in one day.
Yeah, but it's stupid because what is their cost? So they charge you a ton. They charge you $200 for the year.
Yeah, so it'd be equivalent to just about 10 individual races.
I still think they should do it because what is the actual cost that they are shelling out? I guess they probably have a pretty good insurance package there.
It has to be, yeah.
And then they got what, gas and a go-kart? That's not that expensive.
Electric.
Oh, they're electric? So
Yep.
I think they're missing the boat.
Yeah,
but
go-kart.
whatever.
I mean, electricity costs nothing.
Well, I'm not saying that, but it's not that expensive when you're figuring.
Well, I mean, how many people go consistently? When you're there, do you see a lot of the same people?
On occasion, you see 1 or 2 people that have been there before. I think for the most part, all of the people who are repeat offenders who go every single week go during the week. This was my first time going during the week, so it's a crew that I have never seen before. But I think for the most part, they have a lot of people who are repeat customers.
When they run a race, do they run it with all the cars being used?
No,
Or will they just run it with like 2 people if there's only 2 people?
I've gotten out on the track by myself before, so
Oh, really?
they'll do anything. The max I've ever had to race with was like 8 or 9 people, and it's a small track, so 8 or 9 people is
That's
way too much to be out there.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually get any clear track to race or drive the go-kart. You're always just swerving in and out of people or waiting for one of the stewards to blue flag somebody and make them pull over so you can pass.
Yeah.
But with me, fortunately I happen to be good at go-karting, which I don't understand why more people aren't. Like all you have to do is press the gas and the brake at the right time, and then everyone should be able to get the exact same lap time. So I set the fastest time for the week and the second fastest time for the month when we went.
Well,
and that was a track I'd never, because at that place they have 2 racetracks, one on the right side of the building, one on the left side. I've never been to the one on the left side.
it's all indoors or is it outdoors?
Indoors. I'm not going to go outdoor racing in New England
Wow, they might
in the middle of
plow
winter.
it and clear it. And
When
you watch NASCAR, are they indoor?
I would do it. Other people wouldn't.
Is there like a
NASCAR never races
professional?
in the snow.
Is there
NASCAR doesn't
professional
even race in the
go-karting?
rain. What was that?
Is there professional go-karting?
Sort of. It's semi-professional go-karts. That's where all of the people who end up in IndyCar or F1 get their start. Or even a lot of people who start in NASCAR get their start racing these little shifter karts. So the carts that they use are slightly different, slightly more powerful than the ones that I get to race going to this place called K1, but it's the same style of kart.
K1, where's K1?
It's in Wilmington, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's the closest actual go-karting place that we have to us around here. So.
Well, there is Mel's. Don't they have go-karts?
Yeah, but that's not real go-karts.
Well, they don't go 45.
No, and
go
all
like
of the
10,
karts
if
there
that.
are different. You might find one that's faster and one that's slower, and you're racing with a bunch of little kids, and that's not
my style right there.
That's not racing. This, you have to be a licensed driver. You have to have a signed waiver and everything. The stewards will black flag people if they're being stupid and crashing and being dangerous.
How
They'll blue flag
long
you if
does
you're
the race
going too
take you?
slow. Depends on how fast you drive.
What's a typical race?
It's 15 laps. And on the track that we usually race on, my fastest track time is 21 seconds. Average track time is somewhere around 23, 24 seconds. So
that's a lap.
Yep.
So that's still pretty. I mean, that's kind of a lot of money for not much time actually in the car.
25
racing.
times 15.
Yeah.
However many seconds that gets you.
How are they determining your lap time? Is it based on, do they do it for you, or is it like something in your car?
There's something in the car. There's a sensor. So every time you pass the start-finish line, that sensor passes, and so it stops your previous time and starts your next one. So then
for
there is
under
a giant
5 minutes, you're paying
if you actually have better eyesight than I have. While you're driving, there's a giant screen up that you can see your lap times. I never get to know my lap times until I get out of the cart, because I'm just focused on racing the cart to the edge of its ability. So
in Disney, I went to Radiator Springs Racers, and I got to ride in a Lightning McQueen car that was on a track. And a group of 6 of us raced another group of 6.
there you go.
I would like to see you race Chase in a Lightning McQueen car.
Yeah, next month I'll hopefully have something to talk about, because I was invited to go. They have a semi-pro-am race that they do the first Sunday of every month. I, of course, missed the other day because Super Bowl. But yeah, I got invited to go down. That it's doing actual races. It's not based on lap time or anything. So that should be interesting. And it's the best of the best who go there. So
Interesting. And you
there's
got
chances
invited.
for me to win prizes and money. The guy said, "You're competitive enough to fight for a win." So I'm like, okay, I'll go.
Nice.
What do you win?
Prizes, money. I don't know. He told me that there's a trophy and a chance to win free races or gift cards to other places and whatever. So hopefully I find out.
Yeah.
Nice. Is that it?
That should be it, yeah. I've spent too much time talking about this now.
So for my what I did since last episode, me and Becky are going to do it together because we do most of the stuff we do together. So we'll just talk about what we did together. And we did quite a bit, actually. We used MoviePass a whole lot. So you started by seeing The Post. Not sure if you know what The Post is. A little synopsis. It's about the Pentagon Papers back in the 70s being released, and how they were basically the government was hiding stuff about what was going on in Vietnam, and how the Washington Post and the New York Times released this information to the public that way through their paper. So it was very long. I think it was over 2.5 hours. It was slow, and it was very dry.
Then why were you still there?
We had to get our nap time in.
Yeah. So what did you think, Beck? Was I right with that
totally
assessment?
agree. I'm not a history person per se, but if it's going to be a historical movie, I prefer a little more action than none. So I was really comfortable and tired and fell asleep 3 times during this movie. So this is one reason why MoviePass is the way to go, because I didn't spend a lot of money to get there and fall asleep.
Yeah. So she fell asleep. I did not. But the actors, in case you were curious, had really good actors. There was a lot of smaller actors that you probably would recognize from other things, even though you don't know their names off the top of your head. But Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep were the big names. And everyone in it was very good, very believable. The acting was sincere and was really good. I really liked that. And in the end, I actually really liked the movie. But as I've mentioned in the past, I do like history a lot. So it was an interesting story to me. I wasn't obviously around during this time. with Robert McNamara was in all the papers in from the Pentagon being released. So I wasn't around then. I didn't know really much about it. So I actually liked it.
Yeah,
Did you like it?
not really. I mean, I don't need a ton of action in a movie, but when I was trying to read some information, some background on it on IMDb, it said the description said lots of suspense. And let me tell you, there was not suspense at all. You could like what you summed up just a few seconds ago is what this movie was. I don't know how it took as long as it took to tell this story. It could have been summed up in a paragraph.
There was, I mean, some slight suspense, but I wouldn't even really call it suspense. It wasn't like edge of your seat suspense. It was more like interesting.
What's she gonna do?
Yeah,
Ooh.
like yeah. So, but that was one of the things we did. And then after last week, we talked about Death Cure a little bit, Maze Runner Death Cure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And we had mentioned that I had mentioned that my wife and I hadn't seen Scorch Trials. We had only seen the original Maze Runner. But that I thought I had Maze Runner because my friend gives me all his digital copies.
Yep.
So I looked, and there was a day where it was a snowy day, and we had Scorch Trials, so we watched it, and it really made me realize that I had forgotten a lot about the original Maze Runner. I guess it wasn't memorable enough where I remembered enough that when I went into Scorch Trials, I was like, oh yeah, and it all came back to me because I really did not remember that first movie that much. So that's what I thought of Scorch Trials. What did you think, Beck?
Yeah, I really didn't remember much of the first one. I only just really remembered there was a maze, there were creatures in the maze, and somehow they got out. I forgot all the details too, so there wasn't a real connection between the movies for me.
Yeah. So it took me a little while, I guess, to reconnect with the characters. And by the time I did and the movie wrapped up and ended, I ended the movie thinking it was all right. Is I, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I forgot so much of the first movie. I didn't even realize that it was zombie type people that would be in this. I didn't realize that there was a virus that was taking over. I'd say that this one was a little more suspenseful because I saw you, Josh, jump a few times.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny. I did like the movie, though. We went into it kind of without anything. We didn't look ahead, so I didn't know who was in it for cast. So we were pleasantly surprised to see that Alan Tudyk was playing a sleazy, typical character that would be in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, I do like Alan Tudyk. To speak to the zombie point, there wasn't really zombies in the first movie. So I could see why we wouldn't know that there was zombies in the second one. There was no zombies in the first one. And it kind of plays in with the whole I Am Legend kind of thing where a disease has affected humankind and it's turned them into zombie-ish kind of people. That's why there's zombies. They're not like the typical undead zombies that are scary.
Yeah, they're not paranormal.
They're just
living
diseased,
viruses now.
Yeah, diseased people basically that are kind of zombie-ish. So literally the day after we saw Scorch Trials at home on DVD, we went and used Movie Pass and saw Death Cure, Maze Runner Death Cure. And I liked it a lot better than I liked the second one. Maybe it was because the characters were fresher in my mind and I was more familiar with the story at this point, but I really liked it. I thought it wrapped the series up very nicely. I like where they went with it. I liked it. So if you liked the first Maze Runner and the second Maze Runner, I would say you're probably going to like the third one. I would say you might like the third one the best, really.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I can't even remember Scorch Trials, but I do want to see Death Cure. It looked good.
Yeah. What did you think, Beck?
I don't know if I'd say I liked it more, but it did have a lot of action and suspense, which kept my attention. Some of it I found it a little predictable, but I don't always hate that as long as the story is done well. Since Kyle didn't see it, don't read my notes. I was going to talk about a spoiler, but I won't spoil it for you. There was just a twist in it that I wasn't expecting. There's some things that I was predicting, and when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know how this is going to end. And it didn't end the way I thought, so I thought that was kind of good. It reminded me of a Josh-type story, if that gives you any clues. Don't read my notes.
Type story. Okay, I will.
That would give Luke some clues, but I don't know if it would give
Okay.
Chase hasn't read anything I've written, and Kyle doesn't like the stuff I write. So
What are you talking about? I don't like the stuff you write.
Here, I got rid of it. Now you can't read it.
Oh, that moved my notes. Okay, so then after that, no, that's okay. We wanted to watch the TV series, and most of the TV series that we had been into kind of wrapped, and we got rid of Hulu recently. So I had DVR'd The Gifted, and I had all 13 episodes just sitting on my DVR waiting for me to just start. And for some reason, when it first came out, I wasn't like super excited about it. So as it was DVRing, I just kind of left it there and was more interested in other stuff. So we pretty quickly binge watched all 13 episodes. I don't know, maybe in like 2 weeks time. And I felt like it was a little on the B-rate side. Have you guys watched this at all? The Gifted?
Nope. I've never even heard of it.
I think I started to watch the first episode. I was not interested.
Okay. So, I mean, it was a little on the B-rate side, especially early on, but I felt like it was definitely way less B-rate than The Flash. So if you like The Flash, Kyle, and you like comic books, you'll probably like this if you get into it, because there are some interesting characters. At least but it was just a little B-rate at first. I didn't care for a couple of the characters. The two kids who are really the main storyline, I did not really care for them. I kind of felt that they were lame. There was some stuff that I thought was predictable. But in the end, after watching all 13 episodes, I am going to continue to watch it. I'll watch the next series. It kind of ends where you're kind of excited a little bit for the next season. And I sort of liked it. I'm going to keep on watching it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I actually liked this series too. I wasn't sure. I'm always nervous to go into new things because they throw so much junk at you. But I liked that even though it was, I agree, a little bit B-rate, it wasn't excessive in any way like some of the other shows that have been on in the past that feature mutant-type characters having abilities. Like, I remember Heroes in the past. I liked that at the beginning, but it just got so violent and gory for me personally. I was like, I don't really want to watch this anymore. I don't personally need to have the gore, violence, or sex to make a decent show. I felt like it had a lot of the core elements that keep you interested in a show, but you could watch this with a younger audience without cringing, so I enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree. So I would say, Kyle, I mean, Chase, don't bother because you don't care about comics.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Kyle, I would say you'd like it. There's some characters that are definitely real Marvel characters. They weren't just made up for this show. Thunderbird is in it. Polaris is in it. The Esme twins are in it. The character was Esme Kuko in the comic book series, but they kind of tried to connect her to Emma Frost, so they named him Esme Frost in this. But so yeah, there was just definitely real characters, and there was characters like they would take like two characters and kind of mix them and be like, this is what this guy is. He's not really, but they really did take characters that were from the Marvel universe to make them. So that was kind of interesting. And I don't know if the main character is following the Strucker family. And isn't Strucker is like I feel like that's a Marvel thing. Von Strucker family.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it was kind of following that family.
No, sorry, not X-Men. Captain America.
That's what I thought. And I was thinking it can't be the same people, but maybe it is somehow related.
You know, Luke talked about that, right?
Did he?
Yeah, he did, in an earlier episode. Let me see if I can pull up his comments.
He might have.
He talked about Strucker, and I said, do you mean Stryker? And he said, no, Strucker. I don't think it was Baron Von or Stryker.
They call him Von
I'll
Strucker.
go back
Not Baron Von, just Von Strucker.
Yeah, the grandparents, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and pull his comments.
Okay.
Because I think he said no.
Okay.
And they say that they're directly in the same world as the X-Men because they often refer to the X-Men in this series.
Yeah. They talk about like the Hellfire Club, they talk about the Brotherhood, and they talk about the X-Men a lot. So it's all tied into the X-Men world. And it's been more Hellfire Club than Brotherhood, but...
So I went back and found Luke's comments, and here they are.
And the two young kids who were in it, I'm not sure if they're actual comic book characters because I don't recognize them. It's Lauren and Andy Strucker.
Is that like Baron Von Strucker?
That's what I was wondering. They have a family, though. Like, it's based on this family. The dad works for, like, the Sentinel program. And then it's discovered that his kids, after one of his kids get bullied in school, he freaks out and his powers show themselves. And then his daughter comes out as well as having these mutant powers. And so then they go on the run, and they meet up with those other ones, Thunderbird, Polaris, and kind of then are working together to try and survive this Sentinel program while they're being hunted and killed. So it's got an interesting premise.
You sure it's not Stryker?
No, Strucker. Yeah, Strucker.
Yeah, I was thinking Stryker at first too. I'm like, he's in the X-Men universe, but
yeah, it is Strucker.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Luke had a lot to say. He was very smart.
He probably had some nice stuff to say, but you know, we kind of forget what he's talking about. And then after that, just a couple things. I started playing an iOS game called Forge of Empires. I'm already kind of bored with it, so I don't know why I even put that in the notes.
I'm surprised this is the only thing you have on here, because one of the things Josh has a habit of is every time, especially at night, I look over, he's downloading some kind of new game. So I'm surprised that there isn't a whole lot more. He tries like every game known to man.
I downloaded another coloring game. I like that. That's a little lame thing about me. I like to color on my iPad, so that's embarrassing. I know. And then I downloaded this other game. It's almost like a Cooking Fever kind of game where you own a pizza shop and you have to like make pizzas. So the person will come to you and be like, make me a cheese and pepperoni pizza, and then you got to like roll out the dough and put the sauce on the cheese, and it's
You mean like work?
It's kind of like work. Yeah, it really is. And as you like make pizzas and people pay you and they tip you if you do it a good job, you can buy stuff and like spruce up your pizza joint. So
sounds terrible.
He's becoming an entrepreneur for pizza.
Yeah,
like work.
I got my own pizza shop going. And then the last thing I want to talk about in this is kind of depressing, but the Super Bowl. I wanted to talk about that. I feel like I was okay after the loss. I wasn't too upset. I looked over at Kyle. Kyle, you were at my house, and I thought you were going to lose it. But I was able to keep it together. I figured, they've won a lot. They can lose some too, but really they should not have lost that game. The defense was horrendous.
Yep.
I'm very disappointed in that. I know in Belichick we trust and all that. I'm all on board for that. I do not understand though why you are losing that game and your defense is playing so poorly and they cannot stop anything, and you have Malcolm Butler sitting there not even in the game. I know they said that he hasn't been playing good, but that guy is a playmaker. Put him in there and give him a chance.
Yeah, it's the Patriot way, though. They don't. So apparently, there are false rumors about him violating team rules and whatever. But still, if you haven't been pulling your weight all season, then you don't deserve to get to play in the Super Bowl when everything is on the line. Even if you are a playmaker and you make your best plays like that.
Yeah,
that's the way that Belichick coaches.
No, I know, and he's not going to change his style for me, that's for sure. But anyways, it's just stupid. If you were going to sit him in the Super Bowl, why didn't you trade him earlier in the year? You know that he's going to walk away from the team now because he's an unrestricted free agent, right? So he can walk away from the team and sign with anyone. He still had trade value. Get rid of him. Trade for someone. I'd like to see at least get value back than him sit on the bench during the Super Bowl and not help the team in any way.
If he was really being disciplined, though, can you trade him during discipline?
He claims that the reason that he wasn't playing was because he stunk all year, basically. I
thought there was more to that. I thought
there is
more. There is a lot more to that. But that's what he claimed, right? That's what he said. That's the only thing he wanted to address, was that he wasn't playing well.
No, because he's been going on record saying, he even posted that thing on his Twitter. He posted a long thing saying that all of the allegations against him are untrue about how he went to some party he wasn't supposed to, breaking curfew, not showing up for practices. And he was saying that all of that is a lie.
Well, it doesn't really matter. He's going to be gone. I'm sure he's not going to re-sign with the Patriots after this, which I'm not even that disappointed in. I know he's had really good years, and I know he had a play that won us a Super Bowl, but overall he has been just mediocre. So
yeah.
But what did you have to say about the Super Bowl, Beck? Because I noticed you had some stuff.
Well, you didn't say what you were going to say about Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because Josh is going to get into a big argument with me if he even bothers to say what he's written down.
What?
No, but I don't understand why Tom Brady can't catch a stupid easy pass. That pass was floated right
You know what?
to
Hold on,
him.
just-
TB12 method is garbage if you can't catch that stupid pass. Give me a break.
On my way home from work tomorrow, I'll stop by your house with my football, and I will overthrow you by about 4 inches, and we'll see if you can make that catch.
I can make that catch all day long.
An overthrown?
He could have just reached out his arm.
He's a football player.
I don't know.
No.
He was right in his fingers.
Chase,
Yeah,
you could make that
on
catch.
his fingertips.
But you don't make that call, period.
Yeah, but
And then you practice. How many times do you think they practice that play in practice? Only a couple hundred? Then
Yeah,
Give
and
me
you
a
probably
break.
drop the ball every single time.
No, Brady is actually a really good catcher. There are videos of him making one-handed catches
Except
in
when
practices
he's
on
in the Super Bowl.
overthrown balls. But that one, an over-the-shoulder overthrown football is such a really hard catch to make. Even if it was somebody like Julian Edelman, I wouldn't have trusted Edelman to make that catch because
Oh,
it was just
he's never
overthrown by just enough.
He's a
where it
football
bounced off his
player.
finger.
Catch the football.
it's hard because it's easy to judge from the seat. It looked really easy to catch too, but you're probably right. But unfortunately, what came to my mind immediately was that comment from Giselle a few years ago when she said, and I'll clean it up, my husband cannot throw the ball and catch the ball at the same time. Apparently, that thought was on many minds because a news article said that Twitter blew up with comments like, Giselle was right, and yeah, apparently not. And you know what made it so much worse is that the other team did the exact same play after and nailed it. So that's got to hurt.
What did Collinsworth say? That could be the best play of the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, anyways, I'm surprised that Kyle's not ripping me a new one because Kyle was so upset when I was yelling at the TV because you dropped that ball. Kyle's just looking at me with like a glare, which is funny because usually Kyle loves to rag on Brady, but not that night.
I was glaring, and I wasn't glaring at you for ragging on Brady, and it wasn't because I was ragging on Brady. I was just mad that they actually made that call because, you don't make that call, period. That's not in your playbook. That should not be in your playbook.
Yeah, it should.
Okay, no.
I liked it. I liked the call. I think it's gutsy.
That was the last Super Bowl Tom Brady's ever going to play in. Tom Brady is not going back to the big game.
No.
Serious.
Belichick is probably not going back to that game.
He could be right there. He could be right there. The team
You
is
think
not
his
going to be the
career
same
just
next year.
going to go now?
No, but they lost their defensive coordinator. It's going to be tough. There's going to be some rebuilding and restructuring of things. Next year, I don't know how they'll do it, but...
Well, they definitely could use defense.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into this, but I think that the Patriots should sign on Teddy Bruschi and make him the defensive coordinator. Because there's nobody who knows the Patriots system better. There's nobody who knows the Patriots defense better.
Yeah,
he was
you're
just
right.
A
I think you may have
super
something
smart linebacker. I think he would make a great coach. And he works closely with the Patriots organization. I don't see why they shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
No.
So, and then lastly, in case you're wondering, because I'm sure you're all very curious, my favorite Super Bowl commercial was the Tide one with Hopper.
Which one? There were so many.
The Tide one with Hopper.
But
They
there were
were
so
all
many Tide ones.
commercials.
There was a lot of Tide.
With
Yeah,
Hopper.
that's right. No, well, the first one, I guess, was my favorite one.
When you first
I
found
like the
out
one
that it
too
was a
when he's
Hopper
on the
with
back
Tide.
he's on the back of the horse with the Old Spice guy. That
Oh.
one was pretty good too. But
That was awesome.
so that was my favorite.
I liked the Tide one the best. And also anything with Dilly Dilly. Dilly Dilly is a funny commercial to me. Other people
Yeah, I
think
do
it's
like
overdone.
Dilly
I
Dilly,
like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
And
the
then I
pit of
wrote down
misery.
all the ones that I thought were absolutely crap. Anything that advertised a movie or TV show, minus Star Wars Solo, sorry. Any advertisement for a car, the Doritos advertisement with Morgan Freeman, and the Diet Coke commercial. I don't remember what the Diet Coke commercial was.
yeah.
They were just absolutely garbage. Waste
So-
of television time for the Super Bowl.
You didn't like Skyscraper or Sky? me
Which one?
and Kyle are going to see Skyscraper when it comes out with our movie pass.
Yeah.
Was it worth $5 million, though?
Exactly.
Probably not. What about the Dundee one? Did that throw you off?
The Crocodile Dundee one?
Yeah.
That
Do
one
you
was
know
okay.
what that is, Chase?
I don't even remember what that rest of that commercial was about.
The funny thing is, my buddy Tim, he was like all excited. Did you hear they're coming out with the Crocodile Dundee movie and all this? He's like, I can't believe it's going to have Chris Hemsworth. And he's all excited about it, right? So I was over there the other day, and he's like, I'm like, hey, did you watch the Super Bowl? It didn't sound like he really paid much attention. Mm-hmm. I'm like, did you see that the Crocodile Dundee thing was all a hoax? He's like, no. And he was like, you got to be kidding me. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's on IMDb. And he's looking on IMDb and he can't find it. I'm like, it's not there because I took it down. It was all a hoax. He's like, no, it's not. It's not. So I finally showed him the ad from the Super Bowl, and he's like, are you kidding me? He was so upset. So that's all I have for what I did. But Becky, I think you have one more thing.
I added one more thing. The geekiest thing I can say that I've done since the last time I was here, which is obviously a long time ago, and I can't say I'm proud of it, but while we were borrowing the Wii U from a friend, I binge played the Mario game, and I got to the last level in one day and then beat it the next morning.
Wow, that's dedication.
That's right.
I was determined.
She could have beat it that night, but she was struggling with that last boss, and the last castle was really tough. And then the next day, she beat it pretty easily.
Yeah, it was like one of my first tries. And I looked over, and somebody was taking a video of me.
I was taking a page out of Brona's book, and I was videotaping her. But
I'm in my PJs.
She basically made me sign the confidentiality agreement that I will not ever show that video anywhere.
At least it was when I won and not when I lost. Well, there was one loss, but. So that was probably the geekiest thing.
So that's it for me and for Becky. You guys got anything else to add before we move on?
Yeah, I'm going off on the Super Bowl.
Oh boy.
Oh no, not more.
Because I got my
Bring it on.
I got my first point out, and that was it. But one was Tom Brady's never going to a Super Bowl again. Two,
which is wrong.
No, it's not wrong, Chase. He might be the greatest of all time, but the only person that is the greatest of all time and could go back to his sport and win right now is Michael Jordan, and he's over 50.
Can we stop for a second?
Yeah.
Can you mark where that quote is in this video or this episode? Because in a year from now, if they're in the Super Bowl again, I want to totally rub that in your face.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine.
We're gonna call that about 41 minutes 28 seconds. How's that?
Okay.
But I am just the Super Bowl made me sick. Because I've been so upset with the Patriots ever since the Jimmy Garoppolo trade. And I've been upset with Kraft and upset with Brady because there is a certain way that the Patriots do things. Mm-hmm. And they have stopped doing it that way.
Yep.
And it started with Kraft, and he's going back to the way that he was with the first bill. And if Tom Brady wants to keep playing, that's fine. But you give him the Lawyer Malloy treatment, the Richard Seymour treatment, and you move on a few years too soon. That's how you've had success. You don't move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't care if he's not going to be the greatest of all time. You do what's best for the organization. Tom Brady might have played at an MVP level for the first 12 weeks of the season. He did not play at an MVP level for the last 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. He might have done okay during the playoffs, but he's going to fall off a truck next year. And you did not make the best move for the organization. And the Super Bowl made me sick because I thought Belichick was, but he's not either. And something does stink in New England, and I don't think they're going to be back there for a while. Because whoever they bring in as a quarterback clearly isn't going to be the same as Brady. McDaniels is not going to be the same as Belichick. Get used to losing. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I don't want to get used to losing, but I hope you're wrong.
Hey, you know what? It can't be worse than Cleveland.
Good point. It'd be hard to be worse than Cleveland anyways.
You literally can't. You cannot get worse than an 0-16 record. It just can't happen.
You can tie it, I guess. That's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you could be the only one with that record next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this concludes I Know What You Did since the last episode. Let's move on. But first, a word from one of our friends.
This podcast is brought to you by Geek-Cetera. In our last episode, we were joined by Indy Riley, a loyal listener and collaborator since the beginning. We really didn't get to express our thanks for all she has done for us to date. In case you didn't know, she designed our red and black logo, designed and printed our very first t-shirts that we used to represent Geek-Cetera at Granite State Comic-Con, Rhode Island Comic-Con, and many other places. She also presented me with a I Lost My Muffin t-shirt based on my story in episode 2. That now hangs on my wall, along with my Geek-Cetera shirt. She also gifted Josh and Beck a Geek-Cetera onesie in honor of their happy announcement. She started our Reddit page, and she also joined us for episode 12 on 15 minutes notice. Indy, thank you so much. You've contributed greatly to our show. It truly is a crime that we didn't get you on sooner. If you like the work she did on our logo and want to see more of her designs, hop on over to indyreilly.myportfolio.com.
All right. And we're back. And we're going to talk about some fan theories. Just some theories that we can't get enough of. And we're going to start with you, Kyle. I know you have one that you've been dying to talk about. I think you actually kind of hinted at it last episode. So what are you going to talk about?
Yes, I said yes, let's do that.
All right, let's talk about Toy Story.
Yes.
And the theory is
Toy Story's great.
What's that? Let's do that. Okay. Come on, guys, let's go. Toy Story's story, yes. I agrees. The toys being alive is not a secret. That's my theory. And it's not a secret to the adults. It is a secret to the kids, except for Sid and maybe some other troublesome youths. Some of the thoughts that I have around this are, well, how can it be kept a secret from the kids? Well, the adults, they know the toys are alive, and they accept this, having a sentience, a conscience. They may have found out about it on their own and kept the secret, or maybe it's something that's revealed to them, like, hey, congratulations, you graduated from high school. Here's a bunch of secrets you should know about adulthood. Toys are real. Something like that. And so the toys may not know which adults truly do know the secret, which is why they still freeze in front of them, even if a child is not pleasant. Even if a child isn't pleasant. No, if a child isn't present. And the adults don't let on to the kids that the toys are alive because it'd be too mind-blowing for a child. And I think sentience could be somehow part of the toy-making process, since every toy in the Toy Story world... Since every toy in the Toy Story world is alive, I think it might be part of the toy-making process. Could be in the plastic or whatever. But that's the parameters of my theory. What's that?
I said that lead paint.
How does this work? Did somebody say, I don't agree with your theory?
Yeah, usually we just say we don't agree with Kyle's theory.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. I don't agree. How come when you're in the movie, if you're at Disney World and you see one of the Toy Story characters and you say Andy's coming, they'll drop to the ground?
How does that fit into this? And they don't really do that anymore.
They don't?
No,
Probably
because
a liability.
everybody... It was like a secret, but it was a loosely kept secret, so too many people were doing it. So they stopped doing
Oh, and they got sick of it?
Yeah.
They're like, no, I ain't doing that anymore.
Like, we gotta sew up your costume again?
Oh.
Alright, so you
They
don't
could
like
just freeze.
They could just freeze.
They don't have to fall around.
So you don't like my theory. Here are some things to back it up. In Toy Story 2, Andy's mom doesn't question Jessie and Bullseye randomly showing up with the Etch-a-Sketch reading Welcome Home, Andy.
That is a good point.
Yep.
I think she just doesn't notice.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
Okay, in Toy Story 3, Trixie mentions being in an online chat with a dinosaur down the street. Now, Trixie, she's the Triceratops, the blue Triceratops at Molly's house. Mm-hmm. So how would a dinosaur be able to meet another dinosaur without spilling the beans on the whole toys being alive thing?
That's a good question.
I got to think about that. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a really good question. I like that one.
And then the Sunnyside staff, they don't question the toys being moved to random rooms because the toys are assigned to certain rooms. So you might say, well, the kids come in and they mess everything up and blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, this is like after hours. The toys get reassigned and they are put there and they have to stay there.
Yeah. And some days they'd come in and a basket would be upside down and a toy would be underneath it rather than in it like they had left it.
Right.
I think it just plays on the fact that almost every kid movie makes adults complete idiots. So the fact that they don't know where the toys are, I mean, that's kind of like true life too. Not that they're idiots, but they don't know exactly where all the toys are. If you have a room full of toys, you're not going to remember if it's in, out. You will just assume that somebody touched it. But I'd say most of the movies portray parents as being complete idiots. So the fact that they don't notice these things doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm more on board with Kyle's theory. I like it. I think it explains some of the stuff that you don't really think about what as soon as somebody brings it up you're like, "Oh yeah."
I think that some of that stuff is just it's a kids movie. So what's they can play it off as that. It doesn't have to be
80% of the theories we have on this will just be like, "Oh, well, it's just a movie." Like,
yeah, that's true.
Part of the fan theories is the fun in speculating and making your own backstory.
Listen, I cannot like Kyle's theory.
Okay, well,
just because Luke isn't here doesn't mean you have to be a party pooper.
Well, here's something though that I kind of like that I just thought of. At the end of Toy Story 3, when the trucker takes Lotso and puts him on the grill of his truck with some other toys. Yeah. What if he was there and kind of saw what Lotso was doing at the garbage factory and was like, "Hey, that's not good. I'm going to save the toys," but they ended up saving themselves, but he still saw it. So then the trucker was like, "This is a bad toy. I know you're alive, so I'm just going to stick you on the grill of my truck forever."
That sounds awful.
It does sound awful, but really it's
that just turned into a horror movie.
If he knows what's going on, it's like clearly Lotso's a bad toy, so I'm going to save him. Save the rest of the toys. Something like that.
At what point do you think that from childhood to adulthood do they discover that their toys are alive?
Graduation.
Because as a teenager...
I was thinking
around
Toy
the
Story
same
3,
time you find
Andy's
out Santa's not real?
In Toy Story 3, Andy's about to go to college, so why wouldn't he have figured it out by that point?
That's a good question.
Have you wait a second, have you seen the...
He hasn't gotten his college education yet.
Have you seen the How It Should Have Ended for that?
No.
It's hilarious because in the How It Should Have Ended, at the end of Toy Story 3 when he gives the toys to Molly, in the short he goes back and he takes all the toys. Is like, "I'm not ready to do this. All right, bye." And he puts them all in a carton and he's driving off to college. And all of a sudden the toys pop out and they're like, "We've been alive the whole time." So it could be like that.
Interesting.
A couple of things that people might say is Al from Al's Toy Barn, he's an adult, how come he doesn't know? Well, he clearly hasn't discovered the secret, and I think it's for good reason. The toys wouldn't want to let him know about this fact, because he's kind of a sleazeball and not worthy of knowing that truth. But I do think that
it wouldn't be just those toys, all toys, everywhere come alive, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't have any toys that would have outed themselves to him? They all knew he was sleazeball?
He owns a toy store and his father owns a toy store, so there would be incentive not to let on to those guys that they're alive.
It's like toy trafficking.
Yeah.
This is the other thing, is the mother. Are you assuming that because she didn't say anything about the welcome home Andy that she does know the secret?
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. Why would she get rid of his favorite toy knowing that he's alive in a yard sale?
Oh.
But she did not get rid of his favorite toy.
She was... Oh, wait, what was that? She was gonna get rid of him, right?
No.
Weren't they in the yard sale?
She had put him on the top shelf, and then he fell.
That's right. He fell.
Yeah, but she was going to get rid of the other ones.
Oh, that's true. She got rid of the other ones.
Like Squeaky.
Poor little
She
Squeaky.
got rid of all the other toys. She knew they were all alive.
She knew they were all alive, and she put them in a...
She did not know. That's the thing.
No. She put them in a toy sale to go with other kids. To put them in a good home.
To Al's Toy Barn. Didn't they all then get... They all got delivered... They all got given... It was just 3, where they all go to the kindergarten.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. Well, still, I think it's, well, she knows they're alive, so she wants them to get played with. It's more of a, I'm going to do this for you guys.
By kindergartners, they were going to tear them apart.
They showed that as a torture facility
Yeah.
for toys.
Well, there was the nice room and
Because
there
the
was the
toys
bad
want
room.
to get played
So-
with.
I still don't like it.
It's a cut. You know, this is one of the scenes that hit the cutting room floor. Is on the way over, Andy's mom and the toys they're all having a conversation like, "Hey, I'm really gonna miss you guys. Thank you so much for playing with Andy," and da 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 da. But it wouldn't have fit in the movie because they didn't want to give away to the kids that the adults knew. You know?
It's a real cutscene?
No.
No.
Oh,
See, it's believable.
No, it's not.
Really?
Oh,
I don't own it, so
is that the
I
end
didn't
of
know
your
if you
theory?
had some special
Is that
knowledge.
the end of your terrible theory? Luke is gonna.
I was gonna say, whenever Luke comes back in
Yeah.
2 or 3 months, he'll
Yeah,
rag on
he's
this.
gonna.
Luke can rag on all he wants. At least I'm bringing a theory every week.
Hey, I'm with him on this one. So with that, Chase, what is your theory?
I'm gonna have to pass to someone else. Didn't find anything that I liked this week.
Well,
So,
okay.
Nothing from me.
Nothing from Chase. What about you, Becky?
Since I'm a guest, I didn't have a theory, but I'm changing the rules a little bit. I wanted to
What?
prompt a conversation about the new movie coming out, A Wrinkle in Time. I don't know anything about the movie, but it appears to take place in some kind of like interdimensional world. Maybe, I think you said Kyle knows about this.
I think Kyle. Did you read the book?
I read the book.
Yeah, so I was curious about, maybe is that kind of like what it is? He's in a different dimension?
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about interdimensional movies? Stuff like Interstellar was very deep into that kind of plot. How do you guys feel about those types of movies?
I like him.
As long as you don't have a lot of science behind it, like Interstellar, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't mind them. I don't like. I mean, I guess it is kind of a loophole to like start fresh on certain things, which I don't necessarily love. Like you can be like, oh no, this is a different dimension. I think Marvel and DC Comics has done that about 1 million times, right? But for the most part, it doesn't bother me. I like Fringe a lot, which had a lot to do with that. I feel like that's what Stranger Things has to do with. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I guess I agree with you on that. If it's interdimensional, but it's like showing timelines, but I agree with you. I don't like it when it's a cop-out for starting fresh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that never happened.
Right. And that's what happened with a lot of the times with the comic books is that they were looking to write the same characters but doing something different. So they're like, this is a reset on a different world and all that. But I don't think that's what it will be like. I think Star Trek even got into that a little bit with the Bizarro world or whatever they called it. Right?
The Bizarre.
Well, even the timeline with the newer movies that came out.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they wanted to retell the story, so they changed it. Yeah. It wasn't called Bizarro World, but it was like there was like Spock, but he was bad, and then there was like an alter ego almost of all the characters.
They did that with Kira.
With
Remember that in, was it Deep
Yes,
Space Nine?
in Deep Space Nine, yeah.
They had one of those worlds.
Yeah, and they did it in the original series too, and I think they might have even did it in Next Generation.
I don't mind if there's the same timeline. I mean, not the same timeline, but they're both happening in the same time period, but they're different timelines. I just don't like it when it's an excuse
Yeah,
to do
Right.
something different.
I agree. So,
Other than that, I have no idea about A Wrinkle in Time.
why don't you tell us about A Wrinkle in Time, Kyle, if you want? I know I kind of threw that on you.
I'm just going to get into the interdimensional travel, not into the story. I think for me, A Wrinkle in Time, it doesn't try to really get too detailed about how they got there or the science behind it. It's just kind of happening, and I like that, and I don't, because it can be confusing. Like, what's going on? But the story's good. I think you just gotta accept that you're gonna be taken for a ride and go on that ride. And while it does take place in an alternate or a parallel universe or another world like that, it's not an alternate timeline. There's wonky things that happen with time, but it's not alternate timelines.
Since we have Movie Pass, we'll probably go see it. But would you recommend, knowing what you know about the book, would you have paid for it in the movie theater as a movie?
Yes. Actually, you know what? Let me look up titles real quick because there's one I want to see even more than Wrinkle in Time.
There's a movie you want to see more than Wrinkle in Time? Annihilation?
A movie of hers.
Oh.
So I guess you could call it the sequel. Let me just continue. Yes, I would prefer to see A Wind in the Door, and hopefully, if this one goes really well, we will get to see that movie. And she takes the same characters and builds a series of stories, but they're not necessarily. It's a sequel, but it's not like a direct sequel. It's another story about these characters, but it's completely removed from the previous story.
Kind of like the Robert Langdon series from Dan Brown.
Yeah. I would say it's not like the Jack Ryan series, but it's probably more like that Langdon series, yeah. Which I prefer. So I would prefer to see A Wind in the Door, but I'm looking forward to seeing A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely see it. I think we'd see it. When's it coming out? It's soon, right? March 9th.
That's pretty soon.
Yeah. When's Ready Player One coming out?
If Indy was around, she would know.
I know, it's true. I think that's coming out in March as well. March 29th. So March is definitely going to be a good month to have Movie Pass. Are you done?
I'm so done. And Josh, you don't have a theory this week, so I don't
have a theory. I didn't bring a theory to the table because I knew Kyle's was going to take a lot of time and effort. I talked right over you, and I think I couldn't hear what you were saying.
No, I couldn't hear anything you said either. Let's wrap.
Okay. Let's wrap. We hope you like our theories. Now on to the next. But first, a word from our friends.
This podcast is brought to you by Geek-Cetera. Did you know the music used in our show has all been the work of one man? Mr. Hugs created our awesome chiptunes intro and outro, and the background music used in our Luke the Dark Knight segment from episode 12. He even specifically recorded the track Moonchild, which we sample in our segment transitions, just for our show. If you want to get more from him, check out his albums at mrhugs.bandcamp.com and show him some love.
All right. And welcome back. We're moving on to our next segment, News and Rumors Oh My, where we're going to talk about the geeky news and rumors that we dug up on the internet this week. And we're going to start with you, Kyle. What did you find?
I didn't find anything.
What? That's not true.
No. So it's funny because I know the last time we talked about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, you brought Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes up, and you were talking about some new characters that were coming out, and I kind of picked on you because I was like, new characters, what?
Yeah.
They're always coming out with new characters.
True.
But I think I've been hoodwinked.
Okay. Explain.
I heard from someone who said they had a reliable source that I should be panic farming Jedi Knight Anakin for a potential future event where Jango Fett and Padme Amidala would be released. And I thought that was very soon. And I'm thinking now maybe not. And I'm in the midst of that farm, so it's like I guess
already too far in at this point.
Yeah, I guess I'll finish it and then I'll go back to Kylo Ren unmasked. But they just announced that we're getting a Sith Marauder as a character, so he's an unnamed character. He's actually, I guess, going to be like a good attacker. But and that's going to be a companion to the Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader. They're getting a rework with new Zetas, and Vader's getting a new unique ability. So Sith is getting a rework this month, and we know that because the Sith Assassin is the daily logging character.
Yep.
So people are starting to think, okay, Sith is getting a rework, so maybe Darth Malgus is coming and not Darth Revan. But so that's kind of the track people are on, and that's what I'm reading. So it's like, well, I don't really want Jedi Knight Anakin, but I'm hoping that this still comes to fruition this month, maybe next month, and that it's not all for nothing, because I never wanted that character. I didn't really care to have him. And also, we're getting a 5th Han Solo character due to the incoming Solo movie. So
That's
that
confirmed?
would be, yeah.
Really? I'm so tired of Han Solo characters.
Well, I'm kind of tired of them too. And but the thing about it that makes it something that's very exhausting is you need all of the Hans now to have the powerful characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need Stormtrooper Han to be able to get Commander Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And you need what's the other Han? Old Han? What's he called? Rebel Smuggler Han Solo?
Something like that.
Yeah, you need him to be able to get Jedi Training Rey. There are two. Oh, Commander Han Solo you need for light side territory battles. And then Raid Han Solo is just so good for Arena. Or at least he's good right now. I don't think he will be once these Sith reworks come out. But you need basically all 4. So are we going to need this 5th one? It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much.
So that's my geeky news, is that maybe I'm panic farming for a good reason, and I just crossed my fingers. That's not good. I've never done that before. That's ugh. I sicken myself. But that's my geeky news.
I was hoping that if we were going to get characters from the Solo movie, it might not be a Han Solo, but we might get like another Lando, or there's a new character that's Kira is her name in the movie. Like, why don't we get that character, which is a new character to the Star Wars universe? But apparently we're just going to get another Han Solo. So
a 5th Han Solo.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So you can now have a full team of Han Solos if you really wanted to. That probably wouldn't be a very good team, but you could do it.
Yeah. I mean, and I got back with my old guild, and they're actually pretty good, but their requirements is that you need to have a Commander Han Solo who you have to farm through Cantina energy, and I have not done that yet. So I'm glad that I got in there before that was a requirement, because I'm kind of refusing to do it. I know that character is good, but there's other people I want. And actually today I got my 7-star General Kenobi, so I'm very excited about that.
Nice.
I'm so surprised that this game has stood the test of time. It's one of the ones that I've seen Josh play for so long now. Like, how long has this game been out?
It came out before Force Awakens. Was that 2015?
Wow.
It came out in October of that year. So I've been playing it since it came out. So,
besides October. Candy Crush, this game has stood the test of time for you on your devices.
I don't play Candy Crush anymore.
I know, it even outlasted Candy Crush.
Yeah. No, I've played Galaxy of Heroes pretty religiously. I think I've only a couple times did not even log in for the day because I was on vacation on a cruise and I couldn't actually do it because
and
we
you
didn't have
complain the
Wi-Fi.
entire time. You're like, I can't get on my.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're on vacation. Don't worry about
Josh
it.
has been logging in every day since launch. There have been 2 periods that I've quit. I think I quit for 8 months and 3 months.
Yeah.
But Josh is logged in every day. He has all but 5 characters?
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
the characters I don't have are like the ones that are really hard to get. So probably going to have Commander Luke Skywalker, not Commander Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Which one is that? General Kenobi.
General Kenobi.
I'll have him soon. I've been working on heroic what do they call it? HAT. HAAT.
Yep.
I've been working on that, and I'm getting him up. I almost have 7-star Han Solo now from the raid, the pit. So the Wampa I don't have, but there's a couple characters I don't have, but it's all
I haven't
good.
played this game in a long time. I forget. Is there any way that you could like buy those characters?
Yeah, pretty well. Not
So-
really buy them. You can pay to get crystals, and those crystals can get you stuff, but it's not like a guaranteed sure shot on some of the stuff. There are characters, though, that you can just pretty much straight out buy. You buy shards for them.
So, like,
Yeah.
you guys definitely put in a lot of effort to get your characters because you're not going to pay for them.
Yeah,
But
Kyle has some stories, I'm sure. How much did the guy in your guild pay to get Ahsoka Tano all the way to 7-star when she first came out?
So that's small potatoes, apparently.
Really?
So he paid $400
How much?
to 7-star. $400
what?
Wow.
Yeah.
An idiot.
to 7-star Fulcrum Ashoka
Oh my
Tano,
gosh.
and now you can farm her.
Yeah, I
You
got her.
you
I got her
can farm
7 stars.
Barson. And you paid $0.
No, nothing. I haven't paid anything for the game.
Someone on Reddit or Facebook, I guess, admitted that they've paid $18,000 on this one game.
Whoa.
That's a lot of cruises.
Yeah, though, I guess it's crazy money to us, but if you are a person who's like a business professional and you make 6 figures or more a year, is it really that outrageous to spend on one of your favorite hobbies?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm sorry. If you're making 6 figures a year, are you dropping 20,000 on a hobby is nothing.
But you're not walking away with anything. At least, like, if it's on a vacation or something, you have the memories, you've got the souvenirs if you buy something. This is a video game.
Yes. I don't know. To me, we're looking at it as a lot of money, but to some people, I don't think $20,000 is a lot of money. I think it's equivalent to us spending $15 to $20 on something for someone who is a multi-millionaire.
It's possible.
I'm not ever going to spend that much money on anything, but that's crazy.
So that's all I got.
Okay. I liked it. Let's move on. Chase, what do you have?
All right, should I stick with Star Wars or should I go SpaceX?
Why didn't you do both?
Well, but which one should I start with?
Star Wars.
All right, Star Wars. Josh actually reminded me of this because I had heard about it and I don't even know why I didn't bother to put it in my show notes until before I started recording. But we have gotten an announcement of another Star Wars saga. So this is outside of the new trilogy, outside of the Rian Johnson trilogy, outside of all the anthology stuff. The writers of Game of Thrones have been signed up to do a new Star Wars saga outside of everything that we've already had announced. So, of course, fan speculation is Old Republic, but I think that's just because they said that for the Rian Johnson one. They're just going to keep saying it until
I
Disney
get it.
gives us that. So, as of right now, we don't really know what it is. All we know is that we're going to get a lot more Star Wars. So,
A lot.
yeah, props to Disney for milking this franchise for every penny.
Milking this franchise like that beast that Luke was milking.
Yeah, sure. So that leaves a lot of room for, hopefully, and everyone seems to really like this guy's, Benioff and Weiss.
Right. I don't really know anything about them besides that they did, what do you call it, Game of Thrones, and people really seem to like Game of Thrones.
A lot of people like their writing.
All I will say, and I hope this is not true, but people on the internet, from what the research I have done, are exploding that, yay, they're excited and saying, yay, this is going to be our first rated R Star Wars.
I would
Because
hope not.
I guess these guys are a little edgier, but I think if Disney does that, they are
Yeah.
stupid as can be.
I think Disney will try and keep Star Wars open to all fans. And so I think the max they'll ever go is a PG-13. I don't think they'll go to a rated R.
I hope you're right, because if they do, that'll be really heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a dummy, but does Disney have rated R movies that they've produced and not that they've adopted? Because I know that some of the Marvel stuff, like the Punisher or I don't remember which one, some Sin City, isn't that the same world? But that's rated R.
Yeah, I mean they definitely have some rated R franchises now that they purchased Fox. I don't know if anything has come out under the Disney umbrella and been like, this is Disney and it's rated R. I don't know. Not
Let's
that I
just
know of.
hope.
Yeah.
So, And then the other thing that I had is more news in the realm of SpaceX. I like following SpaceX, but again, it was Josh who turned me onto this one. Elon Musk has so much money, and I think he's run out of things to do with it. So what they've done is Elon Musk owns Tesla and SpaceX, and so he decided to launch one of Tesla's Roadsters into space on top of the Falcon Heavy. And so their idea is that they were just going to send the car out into the solar system. It says here that the original plan was to put a path around the sun that would take the vehicle out to the distance of Mars orbit. So it sounds like they're basically trying to turn a car into a comet. But the rocket carrying the car, they didn't do their math right, or they did something and they overshot their trajectory. And it looks like now they're estimating it to go out into the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. So they've overshot their target a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's no reason for them to even do this, though. There's no reason a Tesla Roadster would ever need to be in space. I think this was probably just Elon Musk showing off and being like, hey, look at my Falcon rockets can bring cars into space and do things with them. But it's just... basically, it's just a waste of money. And it's cool. Yeah, I enjoy it. But...
Is that all you have?
Yeah, that's all I have.
All right, cool. What about you, Becky?
So one thing I noticed, I'm kind of on the lookout now that we've been to Rhode Island Comic-Con. There is a close one to us in Boxborough, Massachusetts. It's called Northeast Comic-Con and Collectibles Extravaganza. It's going to be at the Regency Hotel in Boxborough, Massachusetts, March 3rd and 4th. A couple of good things that I noticed about it is that it's really not expensive. We paid a lot to get into Rhode Island, but it was definitely worth it. This one doesn't have as much appealing guests or anything, but it's not too expensive for a day. I was looking at for us, it's only about an hour away, so It's $12 to $15 if you have an advance purchase for a day pass. So that might be kind of like a fun day trip. One of the things that I noticed on their website is besides all the collectibles and vendor goods, they're advertising free-to-play video gaming on vintage and modern systems. So that might be kind of fun to play on vintage systems. And of course, it wouldn't be a proper Comic-Con without a costume contest. And I'm saying that because that's what it said on the website. I know last time you're like, it's cosplay. It's not a costume. It says costume on the website. But that's happening Saturday evening. So for more information, you can go to necomiccon.net.
Very cool. I did look at this one to see who the guests were going to be there, and some of them were guests that we had actually seen at other Comic-Cons. There was no one that I was really super excited to meet, but if you're in the area and you want, it's just, definitely a lot cheaper than getting into one of the big ones. $12 to $15 is nothing compared to how much was it to get into Rhode Island? Like $75, $100, something like that.
And we'd be paying more next time.
Yeah. So very cool. And now I guess it's my turn. I'm going to pull it back to Star Wars. Star Wars is going to be on TV. So Bob Iger, the president of Disney, says that they're currently working on several Star Wars television series. Let me repeat that. Several Star Wars television series, not just one, which they're going to be featured on the Disney streaming service. And he said that at least one of the series is very close to having the details released on it. So we don't know exactly how very close is, but I'm thinking it means within a month or two, maybe even before we get Han Solo, we'll get some details on this. So with that, I want to have a plea to Bob Iger. Hi, Bob. Is it okay if I call you Bob? Would you prefer it if I called you Mr. Iger? Well, anyways, Professor Iger, sir, could you please make me the Star Wars Bounty Hunter movie or TV show that I so desperately desire? I have some very specific requests for you. Number one, please, Bob, make it TV 14 or younger. I don't want anything TVMA. I don't want to watch anything mature. I want to watch it with my family and friends and enjoy it together. Number 2, please make it seedy, dark, and very exciting. Number 3, I don't mind if the crux of the show is based on new characters, but give us someone we know. Boba Fett, maybe Bosk, Forlom, Zuckuss, someone, anyone. Give us a bounty hunter we know. Number 4, give us some species that we're familiar with. I know that every director wants to create their own species. It's like putting their own stamp on their own show or movie. But make the majority of the species ones we've already seen. Hutts, Niktos, Biths, Twi'leks, Zabraks. Then number 5, spend the money to make it look good, Bob. Put a budget behind the show. Don't let them skimp on the special effects. I don't want B-rate, Bob. I thank you, Bobby. Yours truly, Wild Josh of Geek-Cetera.
You had it. You had it until you called him Bobby, and now we're not getting any of those things.
And you told them, don't make it TVMA, but you said, let's make it seedy dark.
Yeah, you can do that correctly.
But not too seedy or not
You
too
can.
dark. Maybe a little
You
light.
can do that. You can do that just fine.
I agree.
If you don't have to go excessive.
He just has to be that good.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to be doing it. He's just putting out the money behind it.
Oh.
Get the guys who can do it. So that's my plea to Bob Iger. I know he listens to the show.
Obviously, he's a very, very loyal viewer.
What if he hates being called Bobby?
Everyone
He's gonna
likes
do
Bobby.
literally the exact opposite of everything that Josh just asked.
Oh
might be
no, we're
right.
getting a Gungan TV show.
Oh no!
I should put that into a YouTube video. It'll get like 2 views, and I'll spend about a day on it. But it will make me happy. Anyone else have any news? Before we move on, I don't.
Nope.
No.
I don't have
All right.
anything.
Very good. Well, that wraps this segment. We hope you enjoyed our news and rumors that we had for you this week. Let's keep rolling, but first, a word from one of our friends.
This segment is brought to you by Preventure Service Company. Got a major renovation you need done? Armin's been doing it all since 1981. For fast and friendly service, contact Preventure at gsinet.net.
All right, and we're back, and we're on to our segment, which we call Can't Wait, where we get to talk about trailers that we saw that we're looking forward to seeing or playing. And I'm going to talk about a trailer that I saw for Mission Impossible Fallout. Mission Impossible Fallout has Tom Cruise, Henry Cavill, Simon Pegg, Alec Baldwin, and Ving Rhames. It looks like the typical Mission Impossible movie where there's a lot of stunts, chases, and action sequences. And I thought it looked pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing it, especially now that I have Movie Pass. And you can. I read a article on the title, which is Fallout, and it said that you can take that title to be both figurative and literal. So I guess you can make that or take that to mean whatever you want. But I figure it means that we're going to get some kind of nuclear weapon in this that Tom Cruise is trying to stop from detonating.
I feel like he just falls out of lots of things.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
I feel like there's fallout between him and his crew.
Ooh.
Could be that too. I think that they hinted at that. That's why they were saying it's kind of figurative and literal, because it looked like he was trying to stop a nuclear bomb, but also that his crew did not look like they were getting along very well. What about you, Chase?
I will say that we finally got Solo.
We did.
After me complaining about it for probably 3 episodes now.
They were listening.
More
Took
than
long
that.
enough for them to listen to me, but I mean, yeah. So during the Super Bowl, we got a little teaser trailer saying, "Hey, you get the full Solo trailer tomorrow." So that was nice. It was surprising too, because I know we had gotten clarification that we weren't going to get the trailer during the Super Bowl, so then I didn't expect to see the teaser trailer at all, which was nice. And then the next day we got the teaser trailer. In fact, I saw a very good trailer breakdown of it over on the Geek-Cetera YouTube page done by Josh.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I liked the way that Josh broke it down, and he kind of looks at every little scene and clip that we see. He adds in some speculations of what we might see in the movie. So I think it's good. It's worth checking out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the movie.
Me too. I know
Do you
that
think
Kyle
that this
isn't really
guy
looking
will?
forward to it, but I am.
Sorry. Do you think that
No.
this new actor is going to live up
Nope.
to Harrison Ford?
Not at all.
I mean, that is a really hard thing to do. Harrison Ford was such a great actor, iconic, really. So I don't
That's
know.
my one worry about it.
Maybe he'll have a romantic tryst with one of his younger co-hosts.
He what?
He'll have a romantic tryst with one of his younger co-stars.
What are you talking about?
You know, like Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher.
Did that happen?
Yes.
For real? They were really an item for a while?
Oh, yeah. And he was married, and she was 19.
Well, at least she wasn't 16.
Scandalous.
Yeah, well, at least she wasn't 14. I mean, what do you want me to say?
She was just younger, but not.
I didn't know that, but okay. Leave it to Kyle to get into the lives of the actors. He knows these people. Do you read Star Magazine?
No, but there are listeners. They comment.
So I know that Kyle's not excited, but that trailer actually made me excited about it. I don't know about you, Chase, but there was some really interesting stuff in it.
There was, yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool, and I really like. I said this in my movie breakdown, but I really like Woody Harrelson. So I'm curious about that character and who he's going to be and what kind of guy he is. So that's all.
I like that scene of the mist in the Star Destroyer. That was about it. I'm excited, but it's like all the things I'm getting excited about are not Han Solo. Like I'm excited for Donald Glover.
Oh yeah,
as Lando, but it's like this dude better do justice.
I saw this thing online today. Someone was like, I don't know why they hired Donald Glover to play Lando. They should have hired Childish Gambino. I thought that was kind of funny. But if you don't
Josh,
know, they're the same people. Yes.
In your breakdown video, where did you find all those Legos?
I am on the ball. Listen, I always have my nose to the ground when it comes to Star Wars.
When it
Josh
comes to
likes
Legos.
to be wherever little kids
And
are.
Legos.
I believe it was probably several months ago, maybe going back to like November. IO9 was talking about how there was released Legos, leaked Lego sets, basically. And they were saying, will these play into the movie? In the past, some of when this happened with toys, they have played into the movie, but sometimes they just release these things and they don't really have much to do with the movie at all. But when I was watching the trailer, I was like, boom, I've seen those before. I know exactly where those are from.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what was really cool too is there was another thing I saw, and this was after I did my breakdown, so it was too late to add it in. But someone was looking at the back of the speeder that Han Solo's driving at the beginning of the trailer.
Yep.
And they're like, the taillights look so familiar. And it was like a vintage car called a Falcon. And that was the design of that land speeder came from that. You can tell, like, it looks exactly like it, like this vintage car called a Falcon.
Is that like an old Ford Falcon?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it was so cool. Like when you look at the back from the back, it looks almost identical with what way the taillights are and everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Why did that blow you away that I knew that stuff about the Legos, Becky?
Well, it was interesting. I like Legos. I was surprised. I'm like, where did you even get leaked Legos?
Yeah, well, you know what? If we have a boy, that kid is going to have Legos. Because I got to play with some Legos.
If you have a girl,
I
they're gonna
think
If you have a girl, she's gonna have nothing because you don't want a girl.
if I've got you, you're going to have an excuse to have Legos. The kid won't be able to touch them.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, no.
That's a
The
collector's
Kraggle.
Don't touch that. I'll be like the father from the Lego movie.
Exactly.
Will Ferrell.
Lord Business.
Yeah,
President.
Lord Business.
President business.
I'm gonna be Lord Business.
It's president business.
President
You're
business.
Kraggle.
Yeah. The Kraggle, the piece de resistance. So
That's why you got all your toys up high, like the Funko Pops. The kid's gonna be like, "What are those, Daddy?
yeah,
Those
hands
are
off,
mine."
buddy. Get your own toys. All right. So, do you have anything else on that Solo trailer?
Nope. Aside
No?
from the fact that it should come here soon.
It's
The
coming out next.
movie should be here soon.
Well, they said Memorial Day.
I know
That's
they
what
gave
they-
us date. I just don't want to have
yeah.
to wait.
It's not that far.
Yeah, that's
You know
debatable.
what's nice is when that movie comes out, summer's starting.
That's
Mhm.
true. I thought it was interesting that they called that summer. I don't feel like that is summer, but they said this
Memorial
summer.
Day? That's kind of a kickoff to
Memorial
your
Day.
summer.
Is it?
Everybody
end of
knows that you
May?
open
The
your
end-
pool. You open your pool on Memorial Day weekend. That is the kickoff to summer.
Well, you can't be opening in your pool and standing in line for solo at the same time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, I mean, it is the end of May, and June, I view June as summer, so why wouldn't I view the end of May as summer? All right, I'm happy now. What do you have for us, Becky? What trailer did you watch?
I might be in the minority that liked the Ant-Man movie.
No,
I
liked it.
Okay.
I'm in
What
the
about-
minority who hasn't seen it.
What? It was pretty good. So I'm not dying to see it, but I think the new Ant-Man and the Wasp might be a good, date night movie. Why not go? I do like both Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly, so I think they could be a good combo. The thing is, I never go into a superhero movie with high expectations, so I can really enjoy most of them. I'm not like one of those people that go in with super expectations and tear them apart. I know what I'm getting into when I go, so usually I can enjoy all of them. So I think Ant-Man and the Wasp might be just like a fun movie.
Yeah, I agree. And I should have mentioned, sorry, I'm going to go back a second. Mission Impossible comes out on July 27th. Ant-Man comes out on July 9th. I like to let people know when it's coming out so they can look forward to it. So July will be a busy movie month too.
If we keep it.
Yeah. Well-
Yeah. Babysitters, guys. Babysitters.
Yeah, we know some babysitters. Sarah will watch it. Watch her little baby.
I won't have it by then.
July? It's due in July.
What's the date you just said?
For Mission Impossible, it's 27th, which is the day after the due date.
Okay,
And
so we can go to
for
Ant-Man and the
Ant-Man,
Wasp.
it's the 9th, so it's earlier.
We'll be fine.
Well, I really hope that due date is stock and locked and everything.
It's
You
gonna
never
really
know.
mess up our lifestyle if it comes earlier.
Yeah, that kid's gonna ruin your life. Ah.
I did see the trailer for that one too, and I thought it looked pretty good. Although it was like a teaser really than anything. But is that it for you, Beck?
Mhm.
What about you, Kyle?
I just want to make a little plug for, well, now I was going to say fall TV, but now it's winter TV, and I am warming up to The Flash.
Oh my goodness.
I really
I thought you
like.
hated that.
I really like.
He does. It's a love hate, I think.
I really like Ralph Dibny, the elongated man. I think episodes that feature him more, the writing is just so good. And I think that actor is just really funny and lighthearted, and it's campy, but in a good way, and not in a, when is this over? I still don't like some things, like Candace Patton. What is her name in the show? What? Not her actress name. Iris. I don't know why Iris is leading Team Flash. That kind of came out of nowhere and still doesn't make sense. But I'm into it. I like it. DeVoe is actually an extremely good villain, and they keep you guessing by figuring out who he's going to be next. And I'm not going to tell you more of that. If you want to know more of that, you got to watch the show. But that's it. I'm not going to rant. I'm not going to go on. I'm liking Flash more. And I'm not liking Legends of Tomorrow, so maybe I'll rant on that next week.
Very good. I haven't watched any of that. I haven't watched Flash in a very long time.
I've never watched it, which shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
No, it's not really.
I feel like
So
that's
it's-
your response to most things.
Yeah, it is.
Unless it's race car driving or SpaceX and
Or-
football.
yeah.
This segment is brought to you by
So, very good.
Freihofer
Anything
Septic
else
Design.
before we move on?
The name to know before you go. Call now.
All right.
Dial 603.
So we hope you like the
209
trailers that we just can't wait
1221
to
make your
see.
business our
And
business.
we're going to move on to the next. But first, a word from our friends. And we are back. And we're sorry we've kind of run out of time for this show tonight. So we're going to not do a great debate, but we will do one next time. But we do have some listener comments. And for that, I'm going to go over to Kyle. What do we have for us?
All right. If you guys remember last week, we had Indy on our show, and she started a Reddit page for us, which Josh and myself, I think Chase may have been active a little bit on there. But we've
Chase
been
has not been.
Chase has not been. Okay. Well, okay. But I got out there and was commenting and like really trying to support this. So last week, I don't even know what I watched now, but I watched a Star Wars video and it got me excited. So I put a lot of thought and insight into a post and put it on our Reddit page, and I got this comment from Indy. TL:DR. Do you guys know what that means? I bet Chase does.
Too long, didn't read.
Okay, Chase does. See, I was right. Josh, did you know what that meant?
Does that mean that we're old? Oh my goodness.
I have no idea. I'm learning this Reddit thing.
I had to Google it. And Chase is right. It was TLDR. So that was Indy's comment. That was our listener comment. And all I got to say to you is this. I had to Google it, and then I had to shorten it and put it back out there. No response. That's fine. If I see that again, I'm just going to put out TBSS, too bad, so sad. Because I appreciate that you started the Reddit page. If we're going to talk about this and I'm going to put something on there, I'm not wasting my time.
I got to agree with you on this one, Kyle, because Indy was saying, "Oh, I'm bored. I want someone to talk to. Come over there and see our Reddit." So I've been putting a lot of stuff on the Reddit lately, and no one says anything, and Indy's been radio silent.
Except for Celestial Hair. I love you, man.
Yeah, Celestial Hair has been someone to talk to at least, and he does have some pretty good insights. We should get him on the show sometime.
Yeah, I can hook that up.
He's your buddy, right?
Yep.
What's his real name? Don't tell me on the air. Tell me off the air. Well, if you got more comments that you want to say, go to see us on our Reddit. Say it in our Reddit. We'll
real comments.
Yeah, leave comments. Email us. Facebook us. Twitter us. Whatever. Do it all. We'll include it in our episode. So we really hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Geek-Cetera, and we invite you all back next time for another thrilling adventure. But until then, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
This whole episode is actually just a Tide commercial.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
You just stay delicious, Snuggle Monster.
Want more from the geeks? Please check out www.geek-cetera.com. You can also follow us on Twitter @Geek-Cetera or subscribe to us on YouTube. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, and if you want to discuss your own favorite geeky topics, join us on Reddit by searching r/Geek-Cetera. You may even get a shout out in a future episode. This episode is brought to you by the Geek-Cetera team. Now this is podcasting.
Who does meters?
It's like all Europe.
Yeah, well, we're Americans. We don't follow that. Homeschool,